Hey guys, Super Godzilla Final Wars here, and today it's going to be the first chapter of Super Godzilla Final Wars and Mikasa, the Two Great Warriors. Now, this one is going to resemble a lot, well, the warning is going to be a lot more similar to the warning that I gave you all when I announced Super Godzilla Final Wars and Toka, Life or Death. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna warn you guys right here, right now. This particular audiobook series is not for children. As a matter of fact, none of them are. None of my videos on my channel are not made for children. So, yeah, but this one in particular is a lot more darker, a lot more violent than all the others. So keep that in mind. So without further ado, let's begin. It was a dark or cold night in the walls. As usual, people are minding their own business. But on this particular night, there were a group of people who were visiting a grave. The group of people were visiting an old friend and an old girlfriend. The people who were in fact Godzilla 2000, King Godzilla 3, Super Burning Godzilla, Dark Dragon, Super Godzilla Earth, Mecha Super Godzilla Earth, along with their girlfriends, along with Jean, Connie, and Mikasa. They were visiting Sasha's grave. She has actually, matter of fact, had actually got shot by a Marian soldier. No, a warrior candidate. She unfortunately did not make it from her wounds. Godzilla 2000 was deeply depressed. How was he going to tell his kids that their mother just passed away like that? First, Cassandra dumped him so she can be gay with Rapunzel. And now this, losing his wife, the only girl that actually loved him. He was in a very tight situation now. However, there was one friend who was missing. He was in fact not here. He was close friends with King Godzilla 3, Godzilla 2000, Super Burning Godzilla, Dark Dragon, and Super Godzilla Earth. He was close friends with them. He wasn't here with them. As a matter of fact, for the past 4 years, he's been missing. Well, actually, it was 2 years ago was when he went missing. Everyone was missing him. After Aaron's foolish attempt to destroy Liberia, which was one of the towns from Mari. Aaron's foolish attempt got Sasha killed. He actually laughed at her death. He almost made Zilchas want to kill Aaron for laughing at his wife's death. He was lucky that Mikasa and Kanata 3 stopped him. But it didn't mean he was gonna forgive Aaron. One day, one of these days, Zilchas was gonna make Aaron suffer for laughing at Sasha's death. Even if it take 100 years, Godzilla 2000 was going to make Aaron pay. Even though Aaron only had 4 years left. But Zilchas can just always wait for Aaron's reincarnation to happen. You can always wait for Aaron's reincarnation. But the person that was missing Super Godzilla Final Wars, who was in fact the leader of the main Kaiju pack, he was actually next in line to become the next commander after Hanji, his adopted mother. But ever since he went missing, Hanji has left Mikasa to become the new commander. But she still had high hopes that Super Final Wars will one day return home, wherever he is. Super Final Wars' new location was in Mari. He was actually looking for the warrior candidate who shot Sasha. He was hunting. And he had his Indoraptor form already turned on. He was basically in the form. So far, 2 of the warrior candidates have been killed and 2 are missing. He looked on just in case to see if there was any more warrior candidates left. There was none. None to inherit rather the Beast armor, Card Titan, or Jaws Titan. There was none left. The only 2 were missing. And Super Final was picked up their scent. He recognized that scent. Gabby. Falco. Could they have been responsible in Sasha's death? No, they couldn't because well, Super Final would never harm a child. He doesn't like harming children. In fact, it makes him sick. If anything, he wants to avoid that. But mainly, he's been having problems of his own. His anger has been taking control of his entire body. His anger and rage has been getting out of control for the past 2 years. And there's a reason why. Super Final Wars had a reason why, but he always keep on forgetting about it. And he needs something to remember him. Well, to basically remind him of what caused him to forget. But regardless, he was heading straight towards Parody now. And this time, it was his own anger that was taking control of his body. If anything, he hoped that someone or one of his friends would stop him before he actually ends up hurting Gabby or Falco. Because if he ended up hurting Falco and Gabby, then he will never forgive himself. He'll probably just throw himself in Antarctica and imprison himself there, and not come out. He can easily shatter his ice prison like nothing. When he arrived to Parody, the visit was over. Ziltaz and all the others went home. But he picked up Sasha's scent. He followed it, and then it led to her grave. Super Final Wars couldn't believe it. She was actually gone? He thought it was just a lie or something. But now it's like he couldn't face reality anymore. But he couldn't let Ziltausen suffer the way he did. Super Final Wars charged up his electricity through his hand and then put it to the ground. He placed his hand gently on the ground. The electricity itself went underground and headed straight towards Sasha. And instantly, she was awake. She was alive. Super Followers had actually brought her back from the dead. Super Followers then later dug her up, then opened her grave so that way she can get out, then instantly left the area before she could get out and catch her breath. She looked around and saw that her wound was recovered. She was alive somehow. Did Soul Salesman brought her back? Super Followers was climbing onto building to building to building, looking for the warrior candidates. Wanted to keep a low profile. He didn't want to let anyone know he was back. He wanted to stay missing. And he had a reason on why. Because 2 years ago, he learned something about how Mikasa that was shocking. Something that he didn't like at first. That he really didn't like. And the reason why he stayed away for so long. It all began 2 years ago. Super Final Wars was a lot more younger. Less... well... less... a bit more angry than he is right now. Back then, he was less angry. He was more like, I don't give a crap, just move on, so I can go back doing my own thing. That's what Super Final Wars was like back then. But after learning the truth from Eren, that their real enemy is Mari and the entire world outside of their island, they had to trust a few people from Mari. Not fully trust it, but trust enough, so that way they can at least have some allies outside of their island. It was when, well, Lady Osmabito came and she revealed something shocking. It was a symbol on like a clothing or a blanket or something that got Mikasa's attention instantly. And Eren basically made her to reveal her own marking. Later, Super Final Wars realized that Mikasa was not meant to be in Paradis. She was basically meant to be with her people outside of the walls. The Osmabito clan. So Final Wars heard about this, he instantly wanted to lash out at them, but he couldn't. Instead, he just walked away. Just vanished out of their sight. As if he was never there in the first place. He was so angry that the fact that Mikasa might want to go back there to her people and never come back to Paradis again. And so he decided on one thing in particular.